Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Salon Talk with Nancy. I'm your host, Nancy, and I'm so excited to have Daniel Mason-Jones again with me. This time, we're going to be talking about something that a lot of salon owners are actually very confused about. I happen to have three daughters that fall into this category, so I understand them. Although I didn't get them when they were teenagers, I do understand them now. So we're going to be talking about Gen Z and the millennials, and really how can we, how we can basically how awesome they are and how to understand them. And we're going to talk a little bit about how Daniel really has grown his business with them. So thank you for joining me, Daniel. Again, anybody that doesn't know who you are, which I doubt that, can you just tell us a little bit? You're on about the salons and stuff like that. Tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about yourself.
So I'm your friend. That's what you need to know. I'm
I
Daniel, and I'm your friend.
know.
No, Daniel Mason Jones, and I've been a stylist now for over 25 years. It's been an
Yep.
amazing ride. I love what I get to do. We just opened our second location. We have over 80 employees inside the company. Literally, we opened in January our second location, and we've already maxed out, which is a bit stressful. And I tell you, people are really seeking something different, and especially when it comes to Gen Z. So I love talking about the different generation gaps. We have every generation working inside of our company right now. And we feel like we might have a little magic when it comes to how to bridge all the generations together for maximum profitability and maximum
Yeah.
happiness inside a culture.
So I went to your event a couple months ago in Atlanta, Georgia, and again told my husband maybe that's where we'll move to. And I was so impressed with how you had really incorporated them into your, you know, cr- created a culture that was just so inclusive, and
Yeah.
and really empower the next generation. And I'm a big believer that again, working with a huge diversity of salon owners in the many years that I've been in the industry, there are some that are just they're like, I don't understand them. And they just they have this negative vibe. But before we
Yes.
start, I want to let the audience get to know you a little bit better. So I'm going to ask you two random questions because this is what I do.
All right.
And the first one is, what is something interesting that nobody knows about you?
Huh. So maybe somebody knows, but not many people know. Did
Okay.
you know? I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
think you know this. Did you know that I was in the ROTC,
ROTC?
the Navy ROTC?
No, I did not.
Voila, there you go.
No way.
So yeah, I did junior ROTC. I did it for 3 years. It was amazing. I did it the whole time I was in high school and could have gone into the Navy as an E2, and
Wow. Yeah.
I loved it. It was awesome. It gave me so much discipline
Yeah.
because of the religious background that I come from. We were not allowed to play sports.
Yeah.
And so in school, in high school, my elective had to be something else. So I went into ROTC. It was really cool. And it taught me a lot about teamwork. And, it's
Yeah.
funny because everything that we've taken from our past really goes into the future. So
It
learning
does.
how to work with team better, learning how to lead
Yeah.
a team. And so, yeah, that's something you may not
That
know.
is so interesting. So I'm the baby of five, so I did not have any team mindset whatsoever. And actually, I catch myself really doing I love my role because it's very independent, but I have to remind myself that I'm greater when I'm with a team. And it is really interesting. Those past experiences can make or break you. So it's like, okay, I always believe well, at least I've identified my greatest weakness being my greatest potential, like my greatest
Yes.
area. Wait, no, I take that back. My greatest strength is actually my greatest area of opportunity also. Right. So, well, that's another podcast. Okay. So second question. This is a good one. This is a good one. If you had to pick a celebrity to be your hairdresser, who would it be and why?
Oh my gosh.
That's a good one. Just imagine you had a lot of hair and you're like,
I know, like a
because you always
celebrity
joke about your
celebrity.
hair.
I know. Like an actual celebrity.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh gosh, I'm terrible. Because I don't really listen to music or watch TV, I don't really know. I feel terrible. I have no idea.
Didn't you have like curly hair when
Yeah,
you were
my
younger?
hair, yeah, my genetic outtake is curly hair for sure. I have no idea who I would want to do my hair. Like, oh, you stumped me. I'm gonna have to think about
Okay.
that and answer that at the end of the podcast.
Interesting. Okay. Um, I still to this day love Jennifer Aniston's hair. It's like so
Oh yeah.
beautiful and thick and shiny and healthy. And I would want her to do a blowout on me. That's who I would pick.
Oh, and you know what? She would be great at it too.
Yeah, I bet she would be. She's all about her hair. I love it.
Huh.
I was thinking like Donna Summers for you because she has
Oh
such
my God,
beautiful curly hair.
fabulous.
Beautiful, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was my first thought. I'm like, who knows like curly hair? So I just want you to be like, well, if I still had a lot of hair in my head and it was curly, who would I want it to be? And she'd
it'd
be
be
so fun. And she
she'd be
would
a lot
sing
of
to us
and
while
I would
she's doing your hair, right?
move around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'd be into it.
I could not sit still during that haircut. True story.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about Gen Z and the millennials. And so during that fabulous class that I attended, you really showcased and how you empower that next generation. And I know my clients that were there, including myself, were very impressed how you like really elevate them because most people think, again, I always say to people, the farther we get away from that next generation, the more we don't understand them. And it's a very common thread.
It's
We
not good.
they think they're lazy. We think that they have no work ethic. It goes on and on and on. And I'm like, I'm sure my parents thought that about me. And now
Sure.
it's about finding your passion. So tell us about, first off, for anyone that really doesn't know the difference of the age,
Yeah.
just because a lot of people still do not understand it. Tell us the ages
Okay.
and then start telling us how you like, what do you love about them? That's always a good start too. The ages and what do you love about them?
So Gen Z right now in
Yeah.
2024 are 18 to 26 years old. So Gen Z is 18 to 26. Millennials are 27 to 42. So now you know. And
Yeah.
that's today in 2024. All right.
Yeah.
So I love them all. Millennials, I have a good friend, Chris Tuff. He spoke at our conference. He was
Yeah.
amazing. He actually wrote an incredible book that everybody should check out. It's called The Millennial Whisper. I'm gonna reach out to him. You know what? After this, I'm gonna be like, hey, do you want to collaborate on a book? Let's write this together for Gen Z.
Yeah.
Because I love Chris so much. What an amazing guy. But Gen Z, when you look at Gen Z versus millennial versus boomer or
Yeah.
even X like myself, um, Gen Z, they're really amazing. There's so many great things about Gen Z that we're overlooking. And I say we, not myself, but we as a human.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Society as a whole.
yeah, we're overlooking them, and they're smart, they're incredible, they're creative, they're not lazy. Contrary to what you might think, they are not lazy.
Yeah.
They are inspired differently. And once we, the older generation, learn how
Yeah.
to communicate effectively, then we can learn what motivates them and inspires them. And my salon is packed full of them. I can't get enough of them. I wish I could hang out with them on the daily.
Yeah.
They're just amazing human beings. They're all about sustainability. They're about a better
Hmm.
environment. They're about a better future. They're about inclusivity. And my gosh, I know a lot of people are turned off by the word inclusivity, but I'm like, who wants to be
I don't
excluded? Like
understand
that's
why.
so weird to me. Like why
Me
would
too.
anyone? It's really
Well,
bizarre.
I think being in our industry, we're around such a diversity of humans. I don't understand it either. I'm like,
It's weird.
this is
Yeah.
weird.
I want to be
I
around
like,
as many people that are different from me as I can. That way
yeah,
I'm not boring. I don't want to be boring. That's so gross.
yeah,
Or as Gen Z would say, that's so cringe. But anyway, Gen Z is amazing. And when you look at Gen Z, like we could do another podcast exclusive to this because there's Gen Z stats that you want to attract into your business as far as customers and spenders. Gen Z is spending a lot of money inside of brick and mortar. They're not looking for the online experience. They want the feel of taking it with them at the time, which is really amazing. I've got a couple of notes here that I have in my phone. So if you see me
that's
looking
okay.
away,
Yeah. And I'm
um,
taking notes. If I look away, I actually have my notepad right there.
that's fine. Yeah. So Gen Z, they're all about inclusivity. They're about authenticity, and
Yeah.
something that I crave also at my age, 46. I crave authenticity because it's so rare. Uh,
Yeah.
I feel that everybody's trying to be something that they're not because they want to be accepted. I'm like, you'd be more accepted if you would just be who you are. Then you're going to find your
Yes.
true friends. Uh,
Right.
that's like the secret to all success.
I agree.
But Gen Z, everything has been stacked against them their whole life. The time that they were born was around 9/11, and then we
Yeah.
had the economic downturn of 2007 and 2009, and that
Yeah.
there was something that happened. There was a shift that happened in their mindset during that time because they would see their parents work all the time.
Yeah.
And maybe their parents weren't available. Maybe they were shoving them off with
Yeah.
a sitter. And then they lost half their portfolio. So the kids, there was like this mental imprint that happened that says, you know what, I'm not going to work like this because they lost everything they had.
Yeah.
I find it very fair for them to feel the way that they feel. And then when it came time for them to graduate, look at what happened. They graduated on a computer screen. And so
Hmm.
everything was stacked against them. All meanwhile, the older generations were telling them how terrible and lazy and weak that they were. So
Right.
if you want to inspire someone, we have to treat them differently. And
Yeah.
um, and also let's also take a moment to remind ourselves that we raised that generation. So if there's something, I
Yeah.
always say this as a salon owner, if there's something that I don't like in my team, I have to take the step and look in the mirror because I created that. I promoted
Yeah.
and I permitted that.
Yeah. But
So
we promote.
yeah, all day long.
So I have a couple comments. One, I have my three daughters are all the we're talking the Gen
Yeah.
Z. And couple things I'm going to add to it. That was a big generation of getting divorced. So like my parents' generation, everyone stayed together. And I remember, and I'm glad they did, but then, you know, I am a divorced parent, and so is a lot of their parents. So they also, if we spoiled them because it was like this play of like who wants to be the best parent, the favorite, and so we spoiled them. So if they have this feeling or this attitude about that they want what they want, it's because we did it. We have to take ownership in that, and and then I have another comment. So you know how much I love what I do. I
Yeah.
remember my kids being in like middle school or maybe sophomore freshman year, and we started talking about their interests and what they want to do. And I remember one of my daughters sitting across from the island from me and going, well, I go, what about the hair industry? You're both like so good at makeup. I had twins first, makeup and hair and blah, blah. And they're like, we do not want to do what you do. I go, what? Because
Oh,
here I am, like, I love
crushed.
ministry. I was like, could you rip my heart out anymore? And they said, you work all the time, mom. So, like, as a single mom, I had to have a nanny
Yeah.
traveling for work, being on the education side. So, you hit the nail on the head with a couple of those things for sure. And the sense, people think, oh, well, the sense of entitlement, we did it to them. We did it to them.
You
We
did it.
wanted them to have more than we had when we were
Of
growing
course. And we continue to do it.
yeah, we do. We do. So that's interesting. I was like, my own personal experience with them. I'm like, we totally did it. We spoiled them.
Yes.
But they're beautiful. They are
They
beautiful. And they're our
are.
next generation. And they are so much smarter than us
They're
because they
brilliant.
want us, my husband and I went into this brewery in Rhode Island. It's Whalers. If you've never been, if I'm not a beer person, which tells you I'm about to say I liked their beer, which was like I do not like beer. We walk in and it's like the owners now are probably like late 20s,
Yeah.
but so they teeter on that side. And we walk in and everything was solar lights. They
Oh,
had for chairs, they had like the big barrels were the tables, and they had like tree stumps, and it was so fun. And I thought, we looked at each other, we're like, what did they spend, like $12,000 to get this thing up and running? And
exactly.
here we are
Definitely
spending,
like it.
we're doing an Airbnb, and we are $80,000 over budget. I'm like, these are smart. These people are way smarter than us.
They're
And
brilliant.
it was such a
Yeah.
cool vibe. So they are so smart. So yeah, you're right. Love it. So tell
And
me more. Tell
something
me,
that's
yeah.
really cool about them is they actually crave being around other people, where the millennials were a little bit more loners.
Mm,
So when you
yeah.
look at,
Okay.
from where you live in
Yeah.
the sales side of things, the people that are independent contractors, the majority of them are millennials.
You're right. You are absolutely right about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And so they
uh-huh.
like to be alone. And, for whatever reason, it's just a psychological thing.
Interesting.
But Gen Z, they do not crave that. They want to be a part of something bigger. And it's really fun to watch them. They thrive being around each other. And all you have to do is just let them know they're doing a good job. They don't care about the money. Now, our salon, we pay way too much money. But I do that because I want to give them a better life. And I,
Yeah, I
I will
agree with that.
continue to do so. They just want to be recognized, though. They want to feel that they're a part of something, and they want to feel that their life is of value. They want to know that they matter, They want to know that their talents are recognized. And speaking of Gen Z, when these kids are coming out of beauty school, they're insane. They're doing colors and cuts that I was doing 15 years into my career after thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of investment classes. They're gifted beyond words. And so, if you happen to be a Gen Z and you're listening, remember, Uncle Daniel loves you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
So
Mama
does Aunt
Nancy loves
Nancy.
you. Mom, I actually after when I leave mass tonight at the end of my day, my one of my Gen Z twins literally was like called me last night to make sure I was still coming over. They want to play pool with me, her and
Oh,
her
wow.
boyfriend. And I'm just like, I love hanging out with my daughters. I love it. It's my favorite thing. I
And
love
how
them.
beautiful is that that you have that sort of relationship?
I
Um,
know.
It's very special. So, yeah, but we saw a lot of things kind of go off the grid with the other generation. And it's okay because there's wonderful
Yeah.
things in every generation. Millennials, um, online shopping, like let's do everything was literally like, I'm gonna sit in my house if I can and just be by
Yeah.
myself and order things. And then 2020 happened and everybody lost their minds because we were forced to be alone. And what we saw was as humans, we are social creatures. We're social beings. We needed to
Yeah.
meet in community. So, as so many people found the negatives of COVID, I found the positives of COVID. I'm like, well, number one, it taught us that we were working way too much, way too
Yeah.
much.
Yep.
Um, we rewrote the whole structure of our company. Thank God for it. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Um, we have people on Fridays and Saturdays. They work 5 hour shifts and they're out. They're done. Go home. Um, they can enjoy their weekend. If it's a young kid, imagine this, Nancy. So we literally pulled someone that had just turned 21 years old in our company into the back office, and when they get into our office, it's never like you're getting in trouble. Like we're gonna
Yeah.
talk about something fun. So we brought them in. We're like, hey, happy birthday, 21, such an amazing time. Just looking at your schedule right now, you always come in at 8 o'clock on Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
What if we change your schedule? Totally up to you, but what if we change your schedule that you can work 8 o'clock on Friday morning and then get off 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon and go about your business? And then why don't you come in on Saturday at 2 o'clock? That way, if you want to go out with your friends on Friday night and have fun, as long as you're responsible, don't get hurt, of course, go out and have fun. You're 21 years
Yeah.
old. This is what you're supposed to do. I don't expect you to roll into the salon at 8 o'clock in the morning and be looking like a movie star and on your best behavior. You're 21. So we gave them that option. Do you know what the facial reactions were? Like, what? You're telling me to go out and be social and have fun at 21? Of
Yeah.
course we are.
Yeah.
We once were 21 also. I did not have fun. I was always so serious and focused on work.
Yeah.
And so we want them to understand that we really do want you to get out and have fun. This is good for you. Socialization is great for you. It's how you're going to build your clientele. It's how
Yeah.
you're going to keep yourself sane. Go do the thing. Just be responsible. So, having those kind of conversations for us has been something that's completely unorthodox. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's changed the game, and the numbers speak for themselves when you see how many people work and are wanting to work inside of the company.
Yeah, no, so you embrace them, you embrace the evolution of change, and they are the future of our industry. And for any
Yeah.
salon owners that are listening that um, really haven't embraced the next generation, I encourage you to because just their ideas, they
Yes.
are your next generation of clients. They are your next salon owners, and either you're going to grow with them
Or you're
and
going to grow
allow them to be a part of the evolution, right? Like really smart like not just owners, but like CEOs of companies surround themselves with young, new ideas.
Yes.
And then they mentor them because they're the ones that have the experience on budgeting, maybe. But the idea aspect is what moves a company forward. And I love it. I keep saying, Crystal Russo and I, when she worked for Redken, sat down and she decided to rent an electric car. And in our industry, it will not work. I'm sorry, but she
Yeah.
rented one. And so we had to go pull over for 2 hours so sure we
Oh
could charge the
gosh.
car, right? So we're like, well, let's just have lunch. And we were talking, we're talking, talking, talking. Now I've known her forever since she was like 28 years old, maybe. And so we're talking about it because the owner was kind of complaining about the millennials and the next generation doing the typical, they're lazy, they're this or that. And having daughters that age, I'm like, no, my daughters work really hard. They
Yeah,
just demand to have balance. They want to have a
period.
life. They
Yeah,
want to know, no, they're not going to work for us. If they're really passionate about and they should be saving our world. I'm a recycle girl, so like it makes me crazy. Like when I see people not recycle, I'm just like, do you not understand what's happening? So they want to save the planet. And so anyway, well, I'll make it short. At one point we just stopped. She stopped talking because we're doing a recap. And I look at her, I go, I think they're just so much smarter than us. She looks at me and she goes, you know what? Whatever age I am, she goes, I'm still not married. She's like, I work like 90 hours a week. I haven't been to the gym in 3 months. And she goes, I think you're right. Was like, I think I am too. Like, why do we work so hard? These people have this next generation, they demand to be
yeah.
able to experience life. And you know
And good
that
for them.
I know they've inspired me to actually want to travel and do stuff. And that was part of like, being more open and the world is beautiful. Don't you want to go explore it? And these people do. I love them.
It's the most special thing ever. I love it. And they're just a breath of fresh air. If you just sit down and talk to them,
Yeah.
they're really amazing.
All right, so
I'm scared
tell
of them.
me, what are some things you do to empower them to really? Because I was so impressed with how you have the lineup. So you've got we've got the Gen Zs, we've got the millennials. They're different, but there's some similarities, which I'm
They're
kind of
also
laughing. I
fabulous.
wasn't
Yeah.
even thinking the millennials like to be by themselves, and yeah, that's really interesting because I have two of them in my head because I have three stepdaughters too, and two of them are millennials, and then one's a Gen Z. So I'm like, you're right. They're way more like um
Independent.
they're very independent, but like small groups. Like
Yes.
they don't like big things. And um my husband's made we have a very big family and I love the social aspect of it, but they don't often come to things when it's a lot of the family there because it's now it makes sense. I'm just like, wow, you're right. And they just online shop. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Tell me how some of the things that you do to empower them in your salon. So if salon owners speaking to salon owners,
Yeah.
give them some pointers on what they can do, like something to help them to really place and empower these generations because they're
So,
confused. They don't know what to do with them.
of course, because we've always done what we've always done. And
Yes.
what I say is like, if we don't change, you will be changed. And
Yeah,
so
the world.
it will be forced upon you. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest thing is get the engagement inside the salon. What are you asking your Gen Z stylist or even the people that are in the training programs? What are you asking? What are you asking for their advice on? Are you even asking them how they feel about the company? Hey, I know we're doing this 13-week training program on XYZ. You just completed it. You did an amazing job. Is there anything that you would change about it? Do surveys with your teams. Ask them, find out what they want because I tell you, they've already had the conversation among their Gen Z peers. I
In the
promise.
back room.
Yeah, not in a bad way necessarily, but they have so many ideas. They understand how to get your social media to appeal to their generation. So you need to sit down and just create a form of questions like, if you were looking for your dream salon, what are you looking for? If this
Mhm.
could be your dream salon, what would it feel like? What would it sound like? What would it smell like? And they may tell you, we joked about this at the Engage and Elevate event. They may tell you that they want to have ficus trees everywhere, and they want to bring the pet dog to work, and whatever. But you need to hear them out. In reality, so our salon,
Yeah.
we do have the plants everywhere. We do have the flexible schedules. We do have an open door policy where they can talk about how they feel. We do have our shampoo room is dedicated to be a quiet space so they don't have to talk or listen to somebody for 10 minutes. We do have a beautiful outdoor area that they can go outside and relax and breathe and just catch up on life between a client. We do let them eat food during the day.
Yeah.
Some of the old school salons like, oh, blah, 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 keep going, going, going.
Yeah.
And
Like
if
an
you are,
assembly line.
yeah, and if you are a salon owner and you're listening to me right now, and you don't know who I am, I will also tell you our salon is very successful by all standards of numbers and quota and everything that we're hitting. And so it works. And so again, having this many people trying to come to work inside the company, our retail is hitting just at 20-21% retail to service inside the company
Yeah.
in both locations. Um, Everything is going as we've always needed it to go. It's just going a lot easier because we stopped being so sterile and adhering
Yeah.
to what we had been taught what had to be back in the day. Um, some of the things that don't matter to a Gen Z is they don't want to be in an all black dress code. Our salon, this is funny, and Nancy, you saw this in motion because you were with our team and you heard them
Yeah.
on stage in a panel. We don't really have a dress code in our company. However, everybody shows up wearing black. Isn't that funny? Like, we don't have a dress code. They're like, hey, you need to show up looking like this. However, people realize the luxury brand that we are, and they dress according to how they want to earn. Now, we have people that will come in sometimes, maybe they're wearing like a sage green or a cream colored blouse or whatever, or maybe even like a pant that's lighter. They get color all over it day one. They're like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. And they
Yeah.
automatically go right back into all black.
Yeah.
So we don't try to like do that whole micromanager thing. We did when we first opened. Let's keep it real. We've been opened. It'll be 20 years in June this upcoming year. We thought that that's how we had to do it because all of
Because everyone did it.
everybody else did it. And
Yeah.
we thought we had to run our business like everybody else. And what we realized is that everybody else lost their business. And
Yeah.
here we were growing. So
Yeah.
the more we change, the more we listen to what our team needs and what they want. It doesn't mean that there's many voices inside the company. We still are the visionary of the company. They know the guidelines and like how we run things. But it is like a well-oiled machine because there is systems in place. We don't manage. We've always said this. We don't manage people. We manage systems, and we lead the people.
Yeah.
But
That's awesome.
the more input you get from your team, the better it's going to be. And that's for any company out there. You know, stop trying to be the dictator of the company and let your team have input. And when they build it, you've heard this before, when they have input to help build something, if they help build it, they will support it.
Yep. No, I agree. So when yeah, you just said that so well because people in general do not want to be told what to do. They want to be a part of something bigger, like a big picture, and even a family dynamic. Nobody, there's no rules when you have kids. It's not like there's like this directions when they come. And I remember when they were younger, I wanted them to dress and be the way I wanted them
Yep.
because of my own insecurities within myself. And
Mm,
I need people to realize this. When we're judging other people, we're actually judging ourselves because it is the insecurity within us that is like we're seeing and we're almost envious of the other person.
yes.
And it could be because we're envious because that person is being themselves and owning it. And here we are judging somebody, right? This is just an example.
Yep.
So I remember being totally guilty of doing that, trying to get being upset if my kids, I'd want them to dress the way I want them to dress. And it was whatever. And then I went to college, took psychology classes to be a communication major, and I learned so much about people. And so I started to empower them. And it's funny because even so, like the family dynamic, especially when you get married, like my husband's kids are complete opposite of mine. I was the
Yeah.
crazy, I'm on the, I was the wild child in high school. So the nut doesn't fall far from the tree. I just want you to know.
Love
But
it.
and my kids are the creative ones, like artistic. So they dress differently. They have tattoos. I have tattoos. You just don't see them. They're all down my back. Like I just
Amazing.
chose to put them where I wanted to put them. So I would show you if I wanted. So, anyways, once I really started to empower them, our family dynamic, like we laugh and we have so much fun. And I think of how, like, what you had just talked about, like in a business, as a business owner, don't you want it to be an enjoyable place? I mean, it's exhausting,
100%.
like dictating every little move to people. There was a sense of relief of just allowing my kids to be them and to elevate them and to see only the beauty in them. Do you know
Yes,
what I'm saying?
it's
Like
amazing.
there's this sense of peace that goes along with it. So I'm sure, especially seeing you have such a big team and you have two locations, they're doing a lot of the work for you. You're
Yeah.
just, and then you empower them to implement things. You have leadership amongst each thing. So tell me
Yeah.
how does these leadership roles make them feel? Because
Giving them, just empowering them. Everybody wants to be a part of something, right? Like,
yeah,
I, everybody wants to feel like they have a voice.
yeah,
Everybody wants to be seen, and most of us want to be heard. And so when you bring people in and you give them those freedoms, it's where the magic happens. And
yeah,
there's not any like secret Harry Potter sorcery, whatever that goes on there. It's just we just love people and we lead with love inside the company.
yeah.
And we also believe in a system called leading up.
Leading
Meaning
up. Okay, what's that?
leading up. So that means if you just came to work inside our company, you've been there maybe 2 months. Maybe we just hired our youngest employee ever. Oh my gosh, she's 16 years old. She's working our front desk. She's in high school, and her dream is to become a hairstylist. And so she's our
Okay.
youngest. Before that, we had a 17-year-old, and now she just turned 20. She is an amazing hairdresser inside the company. But these kids, I don't care how old they are, when they come to work in the company, if there's something they see that could be tweaked or changed for the better of everyone inside the company, and we do have a system, if they see that it's going to tweak and better the whole entire company, they have the authority to lead up. So their voice is heard all the way up the ranks, and then whatever idea they have, if it sounds great for the company, we lead back down with their leadership. And the credit's always pinned on them, like, hey, this idea came from so and so, and we feel this is going to be better for the company. And everyone's like, oh my God, that's amazing. And, so we have like a moment of celebration. We're all about celebrating everything anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's really cool. And like I said, if you could look in the room that I'm in right now, there's a million books in here. All of them are around leadership. All of them are
yeah,
around connection. All of them are around like networking, because the better we become at all of those things, the better we become at relationships. And once you're awesome at relationships, you're going to be an incredible, incredible leader in
oh,
every area of your life.
I love it. So so this is awesome. We're going to be wrapping this up. So I want to talk about not talk about. I want you to tell us, the listener, maybe two leadership books that you highly recommend,
Oh gosh. Okay. Um,
or at least what's your one favorite that just pops into your head?
One favorite one is by a gentleman named John Maxwell,
Yeah,
and it is Good Leaders Ask Great Questions.
I think I read it.
And
Yeah,
it's really, really good. And it really helps you understand like the answers are always there in front of you, but sometimes
yeah,
if you just learn to ask the right questions, your team will tell you everything they need. There's also another great book called The Dream Manager. It's a smaller book. And it's really good. And it's about a sanitation company, so a garbage company.
yeah,
And a young kid goes to work inside this company. And this company, they cannot retain employees to save their life. And they have like 90%, like they're losing 90% of their staff, and
yeah.
it's costing so much to retrain them. And so finally, a younger person came in and they said, hey, I'm going to send out a survey to find out why these people are leaving. Well, it came down to transportation, because the people that are working in sanitation were people that didn't have cars. They were people that didn't have disposable income.
Yeah.
So he says, you know what? I'm going to buy bus tickets. We're going to supply bus tickets to get transportation and get the people to work. So they only saw about a 30% increase. And now it's like 60% retention. So it really wasn't enough to maximize profits for the company. The company was bleeding out money. So here come another young kid from college, and they hired this guy to come in. And he says, community is the answer. Community is the answer. It would save us more money if we would buy school buses. And so they had a driver, they hired a driver to go around to the communities to pick up the
Oh my
workers,
goodness.
and they kept their employees. So you have to be creative, you have to be innovative, and you have to listen to the needs and desires. We've listened to the needs and desires of our customers forever, but our number one customer is the one that works inside the doors with us.
I love that. I love that. In Rhode Island, there's where I live, they have like a transportation issue. In Westerly, where, like small town like Westerly, which, for example, really they don't even have Ubers or
Oh,
taxis. And I'm like, and then I hear people complain about not being able to hire people. And again, they peg them that they're lazy. And I'm like, do any of you realize that it's a transportation issue? It's
it's
actually a
real.
transportation issue
Yes.
because you want to hire them at this minimum wage and you want
Yes.
these young people, but depending on the town that you live in, like not everyone's parents can afford to buy you a car.
Correct.
Like
Correct.
fortunately,
That's why it's really important when we talk
yeah,
about, gosh, I could do like a whole entire day on inclusivity.
yeah,
That's why it's important to open your mind and be inclusive of other people because
yeah,
Nancy, it's easy for me to look. You've been to my home. We live in a nice
yeah,
neighborhood.
yeah,
It'd be easy for me to put on my blinders and think that everyone lives the way that I live and that
yeah,
everyone drives cars that have heated steering wheels or that massage
yes,
people who drive home. It'd be easy for me to think that everybody is as happy as you and I are.
yeah.
It's not the
Not
reality.
true.
It's not the
Yeah,
reality. People are struggling. People are hungry. People are dying. People are sick.
yeah,
There's more things. So lead with empathy and lean into soul. And my gosh, the world is yours. But
yeah,
also lean into people that look, act, and speak differently than you because you'll
yeah.
learn so much
So
more.
much. I
Yeah.
love it. Okay, and then the book is The Millennial
The
Whispers.
Millennial Whisper by
I'm
Chris.
totally getting that. It comes in audio, I'm assuming, because I'm an audio girl as I drive
Yeah,
all day
I'm
long.
sure. I don't know, but I'm sure he's so innovative. I don't know. I'm
I'd
going
be
to text
surprised.
him.
I think he said it did because I wrote that down with one. There was a couple books that I wrote notes that
Yeah.
I wanted to get, and they did say they came in like audio. So
Yeah.
thank you so much again. If
Thank you,
everybody's
Nancy.
enjoying my podcast, please subscribe. I definitely need this is a new podcast, and my intention is to always to elevate, inspire, and empower the beauty professional. So
Can I give them a call to action? So if you're
yeah, go ahead.
listening to this podcast episode or any of the other episodes with Nancy, I'm just going to ask you right now to screenshot that wherever you are. Take a picture if you're listening in your car, tag that on social media, and share it with your friends.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate you. Mwah. I'll see
Thank
you
you,
later.
friend.
Thank
You're
you.
amazing. Have a beautiful day.
You too. Bye bye.